This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hi everybody, Cheryl from Unleashed, and today we have a very, very special guest with a very interesting story. Her name is Sharon Callan, and I'm going to let her tell her story. Say hi, Sharon.
Hi, everybody.
And get your pencil and paper ready because I want to give you her website. It's shelterdogsforveterans.org, and the 4 is FOR. And I'm going to have that on my Unleashed page on Facebook, and you definitely have to check out what she's doing. All right, Sharon. So tell us all about yourself. I know you have a really interesting story, and you're doing really good things, and we want to hear about it.
Well, okay. I have been basically training dogs for about 30 years. And in January of 2002, I was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer, and I was only given a 30% chance of survival, and I said I'm that 30%. So during that time, I knew that I had to live because I had too much I still wanted to do in my life. Number one was to save dogs from being euthanized. And my father was in the military, and I've had other relatives. I actually have 2 sons in the military. One has just retired from the Army. One is making a career in the Air Force. But after my diagnosis of cancer, like I said, I wanted to go on and continue helping dogs. And so I was working in the medical field, actually doing medical billing, and they had a big layoff in the city I live in, and I was one of the ones that got laid off. So at that time, I decided, okay, I'm going to train dogs, positive reward-based training. And how I learned about that was from Victoria Stilwell. I just idolized her. So I knew that was the type of training that I wanted to do over how we used to train, which we call old school now. And that was very aversive, pushing on the dog's bottom, jerking on the leash, all those kind of things. And I didn't like it. And when I saw positive training, I thought, oh, this is great. And that was where I found Animal Behavior College. So I enrolled, and best thing I ever did in my life, because it taught me a whole new way, about dogs. While I was going through my training, I was also trying to rescue dogs from some of our local kill shelters. And I came across a dog named Taylor. And he had obviously been abused. Someone had poured like acid or something down his back. So he had like a squiggly line all the way down his back where the hair was missing. And this dog was absolutely awesome. And so I pulled him and started basic obedience training with him. And I thought, this dog's going to make a good service dog for somebody. Well, it just so happens a gentleman from the Northeast contacted me. His name is Trevor Clark Zamoiter. And he is a veteran, and he also is an EMT since he's been out of the military. And he was looking for a dog, and so I matched he and Taylor together. And his comment to me said it all. He says, I'm damaged, he's damaged, we're going to fix each other. And that was when I knew right then that I wanted to train service dogs for veterans.
I did read something on you. You're able to tell the kind of personality that would make a good service dog.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's a secret I think we all should know, because even if it's not for service, but for a kind of dog for different people, whether it's, service, comfort, somebody that has children or somebody, all the different things, because dogs definitely, everybody has a personality, and especially animals.
Oh,
and,
yes.
You don't really know where they come from, so you don't really know what they've been through. And of course, there's nothing like a love of an animal, that's for sure. And, but dogs, definitely. I really try to push 2 dogs in a house. I mean, there's absolutely no reason if you live in a decent-sized house, you have 2 cars, you have more than 1 television, you got a family, well, you can't have, a companion for your dog or vice versa.
Absolutely.
And, for everyone we save in a shelter, you really save 2, the one that comes out and one that goes in. Not that I like, shelter life, but We just got to get away from the kill shelters. It's just,
Absolutely. Well, and that was my thing, was that I decided early on that I was going to only take dogs from kill shelters, and that's where I've tried to stay true to that. People call me all the time wanting to donate dogs, and that they've bred or whatever, and there are too many dogs in the shelters that are good dogs.
and thoroughbred dogs. I mean,
Yes,
it's
yes,
not just mutts, although they
no.
are wonderful type of dogs. I mean,
I'll be honest, I find, yes, I love purebreds, but I have found some of the most fantastic mixed breeds. And I'll tell you, one of the breeds I really like that gets such a bad rap is pit bulls.
yeah.
Pit bulls make one of the best service dogs you'll ever have. Very loyal, and they're very sweet dogs. It's just, bad owners, I guess, that
I think
causes
it's
some of
bad
it.
owners. I was talking to a friend today because this one shelter that, I share a lot of their stuff out on Long Island, they seem to have a lot of pit bulls, and they have just the most sweetest faces. And they are really good dogs.
They
And
are.
and I agree. I think it's the owner. I think it's the mentality of someone who wakes up and says, "I'm going to get a pity." That's not how you fall in love. That's like saying, "I want a blonde, I want a brunette. She's got to be this, she got to be that."
Yep.
And I think a lot of it is because there have been a lot of tragedies with some of these dogs. I think it's sometimes the owners pair them with a lot of other dogs, and they become a pack. And
Yes.
and that, that's really hard to overcome, because I think individually animals are sweet,
Yes. And it's all about how they're raised.
and how
It
they're
really is.
treated. It's,
Yes.
like you talk about, positive reward. There are people who hit animals, which is crap.
Yes. That's another thing. Dogs are very forgiving. It's
They'll
amazing. I
always
mean,
wag their tail.
yes, they just want to give love. And, like I said, I've met a lot of really, really good dogs in the shelter. And one of the first things I look for is a dog that makes eye contact. And I've had very good luck in picking the dogs I have picked. As I said with Taylor, they're now traveling all over doing talks because he finished his training when he got him, and he is now a service dog. And in fact, they're going before Congress, I believe it is, this week. Which I have a real problem with our VA system, because right now, there is a law out there they've been trying to pass for the last 3 years. It's called the PAW Act. And what it is, it's for the VA to start recognizing that these dogs are helping these veterans, which we already know they are.
Right.
But they keep saying they're not done with their study. Well, their
Yeah.
study's been
Well,
going on over
it's called
7 years.
military intelligence. Come on.
Yes. Yes.
Oxymorons. It's just, it's ridiculous. You know what is also very good for the veterans? Parrots. And, there's so many of them because they shouldn't be here anyway. And they live for like 80 years, and you have to literally will them to the next person. But they found there was a gal in, I think, California, and she ran a place that allowed, the veterans to take, because they're very social. They're like a
Yes.
toddler that needs constant attention. You got to
Yes.
devote your whole life to them, because they want all the attention. But they found pretty good stuff for some, everybody responds differently. But
Yes.
but they were able to take, I think, with dogs, the dog really takes care of the veteran. In this case, I think it was the veteran taking care of the birds, which gave them self-worth and meaningfulness.
Yes.
So, there's so many things we need to learn about animals that it's just, but I hope it does pass, because every veteran today definitely has been scarred by war, whether it's, physically, mentally. And, we could end, the shelter problem if everyone coming out, you win the prize, you get a dog.
Right. Yeah. Well, I just know it works. I have seen it, time and time again with my veterans. They're able to leave their house now. They can go shopping. They can go out to dinner. They go on vacation, where before they couldn't leave their house.
Right.
So nobody's going to ever tell me it doesn't work, because I've seen it firsthand. I actually had a veteran that came to me one time, and this led into something else with my organization. But he came, and on his way here, he had to drive about an hour to get to me. And he had a flashback or went into a panic attack, and he was going to drive his car off the road and kill himself. And he said that when he turned, like he was going to turn the wheel, his dog was right there and put her head in his face. And he said immediately, he said, I can't kill my dog. And so he made it here. And,
see, that's the key.
Yep.
That's the key. We live a different life when we have pets because we want to be there for the pets. We want to come home for the pets. How long does it take you? I mean, every dog is different and every veteran, of course, is different. But on an average, how long does it take for you to, and I'm sure once, the dog is with the veteran, there's little things that they could tune up on and train themselves, different things. I know mostly your stuff is like open up the door. I mean, heavy duty stuff you also do, right? Not just comfort. It's basically really, as an aid.
Yes. And how my organization works, it works a little different than a lot of them that are out there. So I meet with the veteran in the beginning, find out what kind of dog he kind of likes. And, because if they don't want a pit bull, I'm not going to get them one. But, kind of find out what's going to work for them. If they need a dog for stability, I obviously have to have a bigger dog, whatever. So then I look for the dog. Well, once I'll find like 3 dogs I think that are going to work for this veteran, and I'll have him go meet them. He picks the one he wants. And I'm always there because I can see the interaction. I can also tell if it's going to work. And then they take their dog home for 2 weeks, do nothing but bond. Then they come to me once a week and we train. And so they're training their dog through the whole thing. And this way, the bonding is bonding with him, not me. And plus, he has to learn the cues anyway. And this gets them out of the house to come to training. So we do a 6-week basic obedience, a 6 weeks advanced obedience. They take the Canine Good Citizen test, and I'm just now implementing the Urban Canine Good Citizen test. And then we'll do probably about 6 months of the service task training, and then they take the public access test. And I administer all these tests. So it takes them anywhere, the minimum it could be would be 6 months, but that is very rare. It's usually about a year.
Yeah,
a year and a half is what it takes to get one of these dogs certified.
Really? I mean, it's well worth it because now do you think about the age of the animal? Because,
oh, absolutely.
It's got to be not so much a puppy, but certainly...
I try not to use puppies only because I don't want them more stressed because they're already stressed with PTSD. And then if they're trying to potty train and all this.
You need a younger dog, though. I want to take a break, and then I want to ask you about the courses that readied you for this, besides your own knack of it. We'll be right back.
DINOVITE.com. When we put him on the Dinovite, he took right to it. All of these symptoms disappeared.
Dinovite is nutrition.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Something that he actually likes to eat. You need to put him on Dinovite.
Dinovite for life.
If you love your dog, you don't just want him healthy, you want him to be happy.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Okay, everybody, we're back, and we're with Sharon Callan from ShelterDogsForVeterans.org, and she's telling us her secrets, most of them. And she was explaining about, the type of training and it seems to be involved, which it should be, because these are going to be lifelong friends. But, you went to the ABC,
yes.
Animal Behavior College,
yes,
and I guess you went online? You took it online?
Okay, so yes, you go on. I went online and enrolled. You do your book work online first, and you take all your tests online, all that. Once that's complete, you're matched with a local mentor trainer for Animal Behavior College, and then you work with that trainer for probably about 3 or 4 months. doing everything you've learned. And once they think you're ready, they'll pass you or flunk you, whichever. I had a fantastic mentor trainer. So, that's how I got started. She paid me a very high compliment at the time and told me that I was just a natural, that I understood dogs. And I truly believe to be a good trainer, you really have to have that. I'm just in tune with the dog.
Animals seem to like me too. Some dogs more than others, like some of my friends' dogs, they go crazy when I come over. But you definitely have to be an animal person.
Absolutely.
This cannot be thought of as a job. This has to be like a calling.
Yes, I truly believe that. And, so I don't know. It's kind of like being one with these dogs. Sometimes it's hard to explain, but it just came very naturally. And so, Animal Behavior College taught me so much. And then again, the great mentoring that I had. And I'm actually now a mentor trainer for Animal Behavior College.
Wonderful.
So, yes. And I've had some wonderful students come through there.
So you only take one dog you do it once a week. So you could really do a couple of different, pairings. You could probably do 3 or 4 dogs and their new owners.
Yeah, I usually have, sometimes 6 dogs I'm working with at a time. But again, that they're keeping their dog, they're coming to me. So that dog is really bonding with them. Where, some of the other organizations where they train the dog, then you go down for a crash course.
Nah.
And I'll be honest.
I never could understood that. Growing up, I had a big poodle, a standard poodle. Wild, gorgeous, smart, conniving, wild. And this was in the old days when you went to breeders because you couldn't, a poodle.
Right.
And we sent him to school, to a trainer. And the trainer was so excited. Come into Central Park. We lived on Long Island. Come into Central Park and you'll see how good he is. So we went to Central Park and he had the dog. I guess, if I remember correctly, the dog did go to him and live with him and be trained with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he took the dog off the leash and everything was good until kids rode by on a bicycle eating an ice cream. And there goes Brandy. And that was it. It was a waste of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to say I haven't had a dog or two try to do that for me, but, we rein it back in. And consistency is key with dogs. Consistency, because they operate better on a schedule. You can keep a dog on a schedule, they're going to do great.
Plus, they want to please you.
They do.
So you do give rewards, right? I mean,
absolutely. I truly believe there's several ways a dog gets reward. Yes, treats, petting them, looking at them, talking to them. My thing is look, talk, touch, sniffing, playing, and rewards. I mean, treat rewards. That's how dog gets rewarded from you. So, a lot of people don't realize, too, that they create.
You should make that into a T-shirt.
I know. I was trying to think something clever with it, but,
I think just the way it is. People will come up to you and say, what is this? And then you could give them your card and say, I could train your best friend forever.
And, the other thing is that how people think dogs think. And they think like humans, but unfortunately, their brains aren't wired that way. And once people start understanding that, then they're able to work with their dog. Everything a dog does is for reward of some kind. And, that's what motivates them. So, if you can tap into that, then you're on your way. And I think that's why I've had such good success in doing what I'm doing because, knowing how they think, then I know why they did this or why they did that. And I can fix it.
I mean, I think it's wonderful. There's so many things we need to learn about dogs. I mean, that one, I don't think maybe he was a doctor. The dog that knew like 1,100 words. He was able to pick out toys that had names.
Oh, Einstein.
Yeah, it's just absolutely. Even birds. I mean, they're amazing. I mean, there are some very clever, dogs. I mean, I have seen videos and I've shared them. Where, they know how to open up a gate, they know how to get out of this, and they're just amazing. But it's true, because there is a reward for them, whether it's freedom, being with their friends, trying to find food. They're just the kindest,
Their souls are so forgiving and so loving. And like you said before, they just want to please. Tapping into that's how you get what you want. They're going to do it. And the other thing is if they understand you. And that's where positive reward-based training through Animal Behavior College really helped, because it taught me to communicate with these dogs. And so they understand the language, because again, they don't speak English. They don't understand, and think the way we do. So I teach both hand and verbal cues, which is key, because your dog may hear you one time and not see you, or see you and not hear you. So you need to do both.
And with these dogs that you've trained, he might be in a big family. Some maybe still live at home or maybe not.
Whenever you have a service dog, that's a key element for them to, it doesn't mean they have to go play with them, but they have to be, non-reactive to another dog. And cats, I don't worry as much about cats unless I know this dog is going in a home with cats. But then I don't want a dog that wants to chase cats.
Do they become protective? Like overprotective, where if there are they go to visit, because they're going to be taking the dog with them everywhere.
Yes.
And if they go to a friend's house that does have dogs,
yes,
I guess they have to be integrated.
Yeah, and that's interesting that you bring that up, because there is a very fine line there sometimes, because resource guarding is what that is, and it's an innate behavior in dogs, because they've always had to protect whatever they have. So, and when a dog is with somebody 24/7, that is something you have to be very careful. So we watch these dogs very carefully as we go along and don't allow any of that kind of behavior. We definitely correct them from doing it so that does not happen.
Well, see, I think the most important thing is that you go with them and they pick out the dogs. So you're not training dogs even though it is for a veteran, they are finding their own dog and you are training it for them individually. I think that is key. Now, and I'm sure I can't go into a shelter. I'm going to get another dog, but I can't go into a shelter.
It's difficult.
Yeah, I just can't go into a shelter. I deal with a lot of people that do rescue. So, I'll take the chicken way out and,
But if it's a rescue, it came from a shelter. That's
but I just can't go to the shelter because I would not walk out with one dog.
Well, that's why I have 12 dogs. So.
I was going to ask you. Well, that almost is the most. I mean, most of my friends have 2, 3, 4, and all different sizes, colors. It's, I promote a lot of, you got to rescue a dog because.
Every one of mine are rescues. They were ones that were dumped on the side of the road or were going to be euthanized. I actually have my own service dog, and I use him for demonstrations, but I rescued he and his brother the day before they were going to be euthanized. And so he is a phenomenal dog. And his brother was a therapy dog, but he passed away last year. But I still have Pepper. He's 8.5, and I will be retiring him probably pretty soon.
And that's part of the 12, right?
Yes.
So
and I have
mix and match. You have big, little, small.
I have everything.
Yeah,
Anything. I have a boxer. I have a Cane Corso, a Mastiff. I have a Pit Lab. I have a Jack Russell Dachshund.
Ooh, they're really tough because they like to be the only king.
Oh, yeah, all of my dogs get along wonderful together. But they've all been trained. They've all been through obedience and,
But
they're not all
you acquired
dogs.
them. Okay. Pepper and the other dog you got together,
Andy. His name was Andy. Yes.
Okay. So, but other than those two, you acquired them, rescued them one at a time over a period of time, acclimated everybody.
Yes. Now, I have a little beagle mix as well. She was the dog. When you go through Animal Behavior College, you have to take a dog and prove you can train it when you work with the mentor trainer. So I got her at that time because I had to be like 10 weeks old. And so I got her at that time. And when I took her in to have all her shots before training started, my veterinarian laughed at me when he found out he says, "You're going to use this dog?" He said, "Do you know how hard beagles are?"
Yeah, they have a mind of their own.
But she was top of the class. She did awesome.
Wow.
And she's a therapy dog as well.
Dogs used to follow me home from school, or puppies, little puppies. I don't know where the puppies came from. I lived in a development. But my grandmother, by the time I went to school and came back from school, my grandmother had the dog trained.
Oh, wow.
I mean, just amazing.
Yes.
You know, didn't pee in the house and, could sit. The standard ones, of course, now we know there's many more commands.
Yes.
Because there's so many more things that, people are doing with their dogs. They're just not just pets. They're part of the family. They come with us. You want to be home with them, not tonight. I have a date with my dog.
Right.
It's true. I mean, it's the best love you could get.
That is, you won't find more rewarding love than what you'll get from a dog.
They say the kindest hearts live the longest. The world would be full of dogs.
You are so right about that one.
So now I want to ask you, you're good with your health situation?
Yes, I am in remission, and I'm doing well. I do have a couple disabilities that has put me on disability, but I'm able to still train dogs. So, which I'll be doing it till they bury me.
It's wonderful to hear. You're a hero and a survivor, and you've taken your disabilities and whatever, maybe not to focus on yourself or your illness, and you've put it someplace out to do good. Well, that's an angel.
Well, thank you for saying that. But I do it because I love it, not because I want something in return.
Have to. You can't do what you do unless you do love it. And that's the key, as we were talking before the show. What we know now, if we knew then, if you love what you do, you're really not working, you're playing.
Yep, exactly. And there's nothing better than working with dogs every day. I tell people all the time, I said, yeah, I really like working with dogs better than people.
Well, they say that, most people do like animals better than people. That's for sure. It's, and now they're getting their just rewards as far as, being a felony for being cruel to animals. Of course, I like the two truck. One truck goes east, one truck goes west, and you're in the middle. I mean, cruelty to animals, there is absolutely no excuse.
No, there isn't.
For children, I want to include children too, because I don't want people to think that, that I'm only focused on animals. But cruelty is just, and they're just so trusting.
Yes.
That ASPCA ads late at night when you can't sleep and they're cold and they're shivering, and it just breaks your heart because, you know what? There really are idiots like that out there.
There are. I mean, it gets me too. I hear people say all the time, well, a dog's meant to be outside. That's why they have a coat. I said, do you not get cold outside with a coat on? Well, yeah. Well, then why do you think your dog doesn't?
There's this one video I saw, or maybe it was just a graphic. It was a guy in his shorts, I think, and he was chained around the neck to a pole. And the dog was getting in the car and he was saying, why are you leaving me? What did I do? And that's how they would know.
Love it.
I want to, again, get a pencil and paper because you got to look up her website and focus on some stuff she's doing. If you know of anybody, and we all know a lot of people, you could always recommend her. It's Shelter Dogs for, FOR, veterans.org. And, is this the best way to reach you, or is there a phone number? I'll put it on my...
They can reach us there, or our phone number is 706-299-8854.
Okay, I'm going to put that on when the show airs. And I really appreciate you coming on, and I'd like to have you on again when some new stuff or something exciting happens. I love these kind of stories.
Well,
it's been a pleasure, and thank you for all you do, and with your children in the service, thank you for your sacrifice. We appreciate that, because less than 2% of our population are serving. So, and making a career out of it is something very admirable. I appreciate that. And I want you to keep well. And, you have my info, and I want to keep in touch with you. And once again, it's Shelter Dogs for veterans.org. And thank you very much, Sharon Callan. It was a pleasure. And thank you, Animal Behavior College for kind of teaching you almost everything you know.
They did, and I can't thank them enough for what they've done for me. I can't recommend a better college either for training dogs. So
that's good to hear. I like to hear that.
And also, I was going to say, anybody that would like to donate to our organization, if they go to our website, there is a donate button there and they can donate. It goes through PayPal. We're always, no donation's too small because our veterans receive these dogs free of charge.
Good.
So,
and I know it is very expensive to train an animal, which is, part of the problem.
Yes.
But, and I hope that thing with the VA does pass.
Yes, me too, because it's ridiculous.
What is the name of
It's called
the bill?
The PAWS Act. I think it's PAWS Act. I was just at a conference with an organization that's formed, and they were going the day that we were at the conference. It was the last day, and I had to come back, but they were all going before Congress for the third time to try to get this bill passed. Apparently, there's only one congressman or whatever that's stopping it. And his thing was because this study isn't finished.
Yeah, we've
heard it all.
Give him a couple of bucks. I guarantee you he'll agree to it. They're all whores. Excuse me, I didn't mean to say that.
That's exactly
they've been there too long. 12 years is enough.
Yep.
I'd like to have a job where forever I have insurance and a pension.
After
a year. Wow. I want to thank everybody for listening. This is Unleashed, Cheryl Kay. I want to thank Mark for doing what he does best and making me sound good. And again, I want to thank Sharon, and it's been a pleasure, and it's very interesting because we really need to know a lot of this stuff because it really is helping our veterans. I know that for a fact. I'm sure everybody knows a veteran that could use the help, whatever it could be. And I want to tell everybody to live life unleashed and have a great day. Bye-bye, everybody.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.